Alright, what is up everybody? This is Zacharias. We are back with more of Avadon 2 The Corruption. We had quite the eventful beginning here, but we met up with a hand named Khalida to adventure with, so let's continue. As you approach the Rockridge Keep, you meet a band of warriors fleeing the other way. Wretches, Wild Realm raiders, and a wounded ogre fleeing the keep. Their attack must have been repulsed. They stop and size you up, clearly interested in simply walking around you and heading to safety. Exhausted from your journey, you consider letting them pass. But then Khalida raises her blade. "What is this before me?" she shouts. "Foes of the pack. The only penalty for your offenses is death." Hands of Avadon clearly have their own way of approaching these situations. Okay, well, I was hoping I wouldn't be this close to doing this. And one thing I forgot to do for Khalida is giving her these weapons here. Build a bolt flinger. I have a feeling we may need to fight them anyway. Obviously, for a Blade Master, the physical blade will do a lot better. What's on this body over here? Some armor. Let's go ahead and put this away, since we don't need it anymore. And I'm hanging on to this bow because I know who else can use a bow in my party, so we'll save that for them. You and Khalida enter the north gate of Rockridge Keep. The evidence of an attack is everywhere. You see dead wretches, scorch marks, and several shattered walls. This is as far as the rebel assault reached. They did some damage, killed some soldiers, and fled back into the hills. Khalida surveys the damage briefly. More damage to report to Avadon when I return. Minor, but worrying. Why so worrying? Because wretches are like ants. See one today and you will see 50 tomorrow. There are dead wretches, but not humans. For some reason, the wretches and other humanoids are serving the rebels. In return, the rebels send them to die first. She runs her fingers through her hair, failing to bring any order to it. Don't worry, when the real attack comes, the shamans will be along in force. When will you return to Avadon? She starts to answer, but then she stops. Stops talking, stops walking. She freezes in place for several seconds. Then she starts moving again. What just happened? Khalida looks embarrassed. Did I pause again? Yes. I apologize. It happens from time to time when I think about Avadon. Since I am a hand and thus always out in the field, it does not matter. Do not let it concern you. Why does that happen? It is a private matter, and hands of Avadon are not generally questioned by outsiders. That must cause problems. It has affected the range of missions I've been sent on, yes, but I am not concerned, as long as I can still serve Avadon. So, when are you returning to Avadon? As soon as I can. Events here need to be reported. I will go as soon as I have taken you to Odell and met with my colleague. Your colleague? His name is Yannick, a fellow hand. He will most likely continue here while I report back. He is camped with the soldiers at the moment. Let us continue. Agreed. I will see you through. Commander Odell's tower is to the east. We must proceed. He walks on. Alright, I always get stuff of value to put in my junk bag, even if it's just like minor. Because every bit of money does help when selling it later. You enter the central courtyard of Rockridge Keep. Many soldiers are camped here. The Pact has been reinforcing Rockridge Keep, sending fresh troops and supplies. There are 3 towers around the courtyard, and a road leads up to the east toward the commander's headquarters. The recent attack has put them all in a state of shock. None of them thought that the rebels were strong and confident enough to strike at their base. Now they know different. Most of the warriors are young, but one aging man in a long robe sits by the walkway to the east. None of the younger soldiers go near him. Rockridge Keep was built around ancient ruins. The lands of Linnaeus have an astonishing variety of fallen and forgotten empires. The obelisk here is the last sign of one of them. It is covered with faint carvings, writing in a language long dead. A middle-aged Kellam man sits cross-legged before the stone, copying the markings onto a sheet of paper. His robe bears the symbol of Avadon, which would explain why none of the soldiers ever get close to him. When you approach, he rises and nods to Khalida. Greetings, fellow hand. She returns the greeting, and he turns to you. And to you, Malik, is it? I have your description. I am glad to see you safely return. You are a hand of Avadon? I am. I came here with my colleague, Khalida, to investigate and to offer aid. I had to use my magical talents to deflect the assault. I should be an eye, alas, but my fire and ice have been deemed more useful than my insight. Khalida smiles. Grow accustomed to these little complaints. Yannick has a library of them. And I? The hands of Avadon fight. The eyes learn and spy. The hearts advise Redbeard. I feel I am more suited to the other tasks than the one I have been given, but it is not for me to choose. Yannick gives you a half smile and waits to see what you have to say. He would clearly prefer to be spending his limited time studying the old stone. What is your task here? To act to aid the Pact and to scourge his foes. Beyond that, we have been given great freedom to choose how to act. Alas, we have found more activity than we expected. And I see that Khalida has already aided you. How have you found my colleague? It was an honor to travel with the hand of Avadon. Really? Most are terrified of us. We appreciate the flattery, to be sure. Tell me about the stone. Yannick immediately shows the level of interest and engagement completely absent from his prior conversation. Remarkable, is it not? It appears to be the last known message from some long-lost tribe of hill people. What does it say? No idea. Maybe a history. Maybe an explanation of why they died out. Or a story about how their young god king ate the sun. I will need access to the library of Avadon to figure it out. You study this instead of defending the keep? The keep has been defended. Now I wait for events to develop so that I can decide how my efforts are best used. Until then, I spend my time with something actually worthwhile. You study old cultures. Khalida laughs. Here we go. Yannick ignores this. I am a sage by choice. I Hand of Avadon by compulsion. If I am spared a few minutes to follow my true purpose, I will. You were forced to be a hand? Avadon, when in need, is allowed to conscript skilled warriors. One of the few powers left to Avadon in its broken state. Khalida clears her throat. Yannick sighs. But we are not supposed to discuss our affairs with outsiders. Tell me about the attack. From my vantage point, it appeared to be a well-organized suicide. A few humanoids and young Wild Realm warriors, all hungry for glory, thought to attack this keep by surprise. And what happened? They underestimated our readiness. Most died, a few fled. The attack was a total failure, but more such attacks will follow. Did you aid in the defense? Yannick looks down at the notes on his lap. He sadly shakes his head. I killed. It is what I am reduced to. Khalida pats the aging man on the shoulder. He does his duty, but he is not a willing warrior. Okay, the sign says Barracks West, South Quarter Southwest, Quartermaster South, Headquarters East. The sign says Rockridge Headquarters. You meet Commander Odell for only the second time. Your first meeting was very brief and brusque. After the introduction, you were sent to scout the hills to look for rebel incursions. This meeting, however, you have his full attention. He is an aging Kellum warrior with pale blonde hair rapidly shading to gray. He came from Kellum Dariel, far to the north, to spend his life in the futile task of bringing order to the contested lands. He notes the presence of Khalida with a brief lip curl of disapproval. Then he turns to you. Ah, Malik, is it? One of our scouts. He reaches for a pen. Tell me what is happening to the north. What is happening here? I am not accustomed to interrogation by inferiors. You will be told what you need to know when you need to know it, by someone whose time is less important than mine. I need some time to rest first. Odell runs a single ragged fingernail down the surface of his desk, leaving a faint scratch. This is a subtle but effective way of conveying his irritation with your request. We were attacked. Ogres, Wild Realm warriors, and even a Titan. You describe everything you saw in detail. Odell writes it down eagerly. Wild Realm scouts, humanoids, and a Titan? This is truly troubling. Widespread problems far beyond what we expected. There is more I need to know. What do you need to know? You left here on a scouting mission with... He checks his notes. Silky. That was her name. Valuable scout. Did not return with you. What happened there? A Titan struck Silky down. Odell says, a Titan. It would be hard to believe if two of those creatures hadn't just torn down our north gate. Was Silky slain? I don't know. The Titan hit Silky and carried off the body. Odell nods and makes a quick note on a scroll. Carried off. Very suspicious. If you learn anything new about Silky's fate, I want to know immediately. Enough reporting. Now we must act quickly and decisively. I'd like to talk more about Silky. I understand. It is hard to lose a partner, and yet there are many more lives at stake. We need to act. What is going on? Odell admits with great regret. I don't know. What now? Odell stops and thinks. He is unsure, an unfamiliar and unpleasant sensation. Then he remembers that Khalida is there. The idea comes quickly. It is time that Avadon earn its keep for the pact. We will report this disaster to them. We will ask for more aid. We will see if we can awaken Redbeard from its slumber. But what will I do? You will be my envoy. There is a portal pylon to the south, old and inactive, but a hand of Avadon can restore it. It will take you to Avadon in a moment, and then you can get us the help we need. He looks at Khalida. And you, of course, will want to guide Malik and make sure the message gets through. You and that sorcerer staring at the giant rock in my courtyard. Khalida takes a step forward. That is not our mission. We are here to help you. And that is how you can best help me. Protect Malik and free me of your unwelcome presence. You don't want Hands of Avadon here? Odell grins and leans back in his chair. I don't want them anywhere. Avadon's brutality and arrogance have outlasted their usefulness. But this is not the time to talk politics. Your message must get through, and the best way to guarantee it is for the Hands to escort you. Khalida nods. I must admit, the course makes sense. What is a portal pylon? A magical stone, which can send you to Avadon in an instant. Weeks of travel compressed into a moment. The stone is to the south. The Hands can guide you there. What do I do when I reach Avadon? Tell Redbeard what has happened. See what little aid you can get. And get back to me so that I can put you to productive work. I will get it done. That is the spirit. Good fortune, and I hope that Avadon does not corrupt you with this power madness. Go collect Yannick the sorcerer, and I will have the southern gate open for you. Go south, get to the pylon, report to Avadon, and return. Khalida says, I will make sure Malik gets through, and then I will be back. You will not be rid of Avadon so quickly. Odell says, then go. I'm sure there's nothing else you need. Report to Avadon. Commander Odell of Rockridge Keep has tasked you to report the recent raid to the fortress of Avadon and see what aid can be secured for his fortress. First, you need to collect the Avadon sorcerer Yannick. He can be found in the large central courtyard of the keep. I need you to come with me. What? Where? Back to Avadon. Already? After the long journey here? He looks at Khalida for confirmation. The Blade Master nods. Well, duty calls. Tell me when you are ready to depart. Odell doesn't appear to like you. The commander's dislike of Avadon is well known, but it has recently begun to transition into open rebellion. When Avadon is restored, Redbeard will discuss things with him. Let's go. Yannick stands and grabs his pack. I am always ready to travel. Onward. How will we return? Khalida grins. We need to reawaken the portal stone. Yannick is intrigued. Not something I expected to do. Perilous, but speedy. It was south. Yes, we should proceed. He moves to your side. Yannick is one of the characters who can travel with you. He is a sorcerer. He is fragile in battle, but he can cast spells that do powerful damage or befuddle the minds of the enemy. Okay, so we will level this. Level these two, unlock charm. Reduces the number of lockpicks that are required whenever your group attempts to pick a lock or disarm a trap. Shadow Charm causes nearby enemies to forget that you are there, giving them a chance to switch to a new target if there is one. Also gives a powerful shield for a short time. Alright, so let's roll then. As you emerge from the south gate of the fort, Yannick stops and gives a long sigh. Khalida seems to expect this. She doesn't even break stride. Is there a problem? He looks at you, happy to have a fresh audience for his troubles. Apologies, Malik. My life's work takes place in cities and ruins, not the wild. It is always with regret that I leave the safety of walls, even crumbling ones. That's an odd opinion for a Hand of Avadon. Unusual, perhaps, but I did not choose to be a hand. It is a rare privilege, but not one I ever sought. How did you become a hand? Conscription, one of the oldest rites of Avadon, to call into its service those it thinks it needs, especially in times of strife. Khalida rolls her eyes. Yannick chooses to ignore it. My true work is research, studying the many lost peoples of Linnaeus, their language, their cultures, their powers. But I will help escort you to safety in Avadon instead. There are a lot of lost civilizations, thousands of them. Everywhere you go, every step you take, there are bones underfoot, and bones under those, and more bones. The history lost to us is without limit. Their powers. I want to find secrets to lost magic of old. That is my main goal. Who knows what magical secrets have been lost? To dispel the hurricane, to summon a castle from the earthen moments, maybe to even shape new life. Those secrets are there. I will find them if Redbeard ever gives me time. Why exactly do I need to go to Avadon? Instead of, say, writing a letter, you could send a report on paper, but Hart, Protus, and Redbeard prefer to get important news firsthand. And yes, an alliance of rebels, wretches, ogres, and titans counts as important. So the gates of Avadon fall squarely upon you. Unfortunate. I'd like to know more about Avadon. Yannick relaxes, eager to avoid passing through the city gates. Of course. What would... And then Khalida clears her throat. Yannick, enough delays. Let's go while we have daylight. Of course, you will learn all that you want to know soon enough. Let's find the portal pylon. Complaints concluded, he joins Khalida in walking down the road. Alright, so let's head out of here. The three of you walk down the road south toward the Riverlands. Once there, you will find the portal pylon, and then, hopefully, you will be in Avadon moments later. You are full of both fear and anticipation. Since you were a child, you heard terrifying tales of Avadon and its master, Redbeard, about his power, his reach, his ability to rain horrible vengeance on any who would harm the pack. And now you are going to face him personally. The risk is great, but the potential rewards are almost limitless. All you need to do is get through miles of rebel-infested woods in order to find some pylon that might not work. You match the confident strides of the two hands, Khalida and Yannick. Your journey begins. Right? After a blissfully uneventful journey down the free road through the contested lands, you reach the Riverlands. These are fertile lands, farmed by brave souls of the Cava and Wild Realm, who maintain an uneasy peace with each other. Downriver to the south, you can see a small village. It seems peaceful, though the ground nearby shows signs of recent battle. Khalida consults a map she produces from her satchel. The road turns east soon. That is the path to the pylon. Yannick seems lost, trying to recall something. The steps to activate a portal pylon are simple, but it is not something I have done. Hopefully, by the time we get there, I'll have it straight in my head. You are able to see the warriors coming up the road before they see you. It's not difficult, as one of them is a titan. Yannick reflexively raises his hands, beginning to cast a spell. Khalida lets out a little sigh, grabs his shoulder, and says, "Not the right time, hero." As Khalida hauls Yannick towards cover behind a pile of stumps, she hisses, "Come on, hurry." You conceal yourself behind a stump with the bold hands of Avadon. Then you peer out at the road, waiting to see who passes. As the Titan and Rebel warriors approach, Khalida whispers, "Stay quiet if you want to live." Gorath and the shaman stop in the road, not far from where you are hiding. The Titan is covered with filthy bandages, the result of his recent skirmishes with pack soldiers. He is furious with the shaman, which distracts them enough so that they don't spot you. "Constina," he rumbles. "I lost many good warriors, lost to your raids. Dead, dead, dead. Now you want more. All pain, no pay." Yannick and Khalida look at each other, barely able to contain themselves. Constina is the leader of the Wild Realm rebels in these lands, and she is only a few feet away from you. Heavily guarded, alas. Constina looks up at the Titan, completely unafraid. The tame drake that walks at her side must add to her confidence. "Gorath, you have fought well. The loot you earned will be yours," She snaps her fingers and one of her warriors approaches, bearing a heavy sack. Goras takes a bag and shakes it. You can hear the jingling of the coins inside. He nods. You buy me, human. For now. What to do? Hansina points to the south. Watch the roads. Rockbridge Keep has sent out scouts and messengers. None are to deliver their messages. I must return to our base to question our new prisoners. Goras nods. It will be done. I have servants, too. I must go pay some of them. He shakes the bag. I will leave mine to watch the road. The shaman nods at this, turns, and leaves. As she leaves with her cohort, another warrior comes up to the road to meet Goras. You can see that the new warrior is a Shadow Walker, a free walker, no doubt. Mercenary, using his elite training for anyone who has a coin. Goras says, Sinicha, did you hear the shaman? The Shadow Walker stands tall before the massive titan. I heard. Messengers come from the enemy's keep. None may reach their destinations alive. Goras sticks his gnarled fist in the bag. When it emerges again, it is full of gold coins, which he gives to the Shadow Walker. Watch roads. Do not fail. Okay, so now we have that. You reach a crossroad. Downriver to the south, a small village is not far away. You also see an abandoned farmhouse at the side of the road. Yannick is tempted by the miserable, remote scrap of civilization, but Khalida dashes his hope. Sorry, Yannick. No sour wine and flea-infested beds for you. The pylon is down the road to the east. They turn to you. Khalida says, you're the scout who has traveled in these woods. You pick the route. Okay. Alright, but let's make sure we go ahead and kill these fools then. Kill anyone who's in our way. Okay, I do want to save vitality as much as I can. Oh yeah, I forgot that Yannick, being a sorcerer, can also wield a bow, so we can put that on him. Pick that up. I don't see anything else we need. We have a potion of battle here. Okay, just some coins right there. I do love having this razor flinger at my disposal. Can easily just hit several of them with it. Or not hit several with them, but don't have to get close to them at all. Okay, so Yannick does not need another apprentice one. Apprentice rod, I mean. He already has one, but we can pick that up since it does have value still. steel short sword. We can hang on to that. Khalida points at the overgrown path to the north. That way, the pylon is up there. You've learned enough tracking to recognize the faint but clear marks on the trail. Many booted feet. You pointed out to the hands. They are not surprised. Yannick says, well, I suppose a nice peaceful walk was too much to hope for. You find a rebel encampment squarely in your path. Wretches, hunters, even a small ogre. Standing in front of them all, waiting for you, is Seneca. The Shadow Walker watches calmly as you enter the clearing. He draws his blade. Welcome, messengers. I am sorry that I must kill you, but... And then he sees the insignia of Avadon on the shoulders of your companions. He is calm no longer. Avadon? Here? Now? Why? What are you doing here? I am earning my keep, using the trade I have learned to obtain wealth for me and my clan. Be assured that nothing I do to you is personal. I am looking for a scout named Silky. Seneca didn't expect this question. The rebels took some prisoners in the assault, but they killed many more. I would forget about your friend. The scout is doubtless lost. You dare to hinder Avadon? Step aside. This is very tempting to Seneca, but he shakes his head. A free walker who takes a task must complete it, and only defeat can free him. I did not want to draw the gaze of Avadon. I have it now, but I will not surrender. What is a free walker? A shadow walker without a master, who roams. Actually, this might not be the best time to talk about this. And now Avadon will destroy you. You don't leave Seneca any more time to ponder his huge mistake. You draw your blade and charge. Seneca waves his blade and his warriors howl and charge. Let's use some abilities now. I like how Seneca still went for Malik anyway. Okay, I honestly should have saved the charge shard ability until after that was more damage. Ah, dang it, I can't use days again yet. You managed to land a solid blow on Seneca. He reels back, blood seeping from the wound. He looks around, dazed, wondering if the money he is earning really justifies this hassle. Then he slips something out of his pouch. He throws it at the ground. You can see, just for a moment, that it is a small ceramic vial. Then it hits the ground and shatters, and your eyes are immediately stung with caustic smoke. Seconds later, when your vision starts to clear, you realize that Seneca is gone. Alright, and make sure when you want to destroy a turret, you click on it like that and do that when you're running a Tinker Mage. Because if you get into combat right away and try to summon another turret, you won't be able to do that because you already have a turret out, basically. So make sure to destroy turrets as often as you can when you no longer need them. Khalida reaches for a map, looks around, and shakes her head. The pylon is... She waves vaguely to the west. We should hurry. The rebels know we are here. If we don't escape soon, they might have time to bring back their Titan. The pathway here is sprinkled with powerful mine, blocking your progress. Deep holes and scorched earth testify to their effectiveness. Khalida tosses a pebble at one and notes with displeasure how it is vaporized before it hits the ground. We should look for an alternate route and hope it is not mine. Alright, indeed. There is a pack of large wolves in the back corner of this grove. They are wild creatures, uninterested in hunting humans if it can be avoided. Still, if you pester them, they will bite back. You can sneak past some creatures in Avadon too. If you keep your distance and move quickly past, you can evade these wolves. These deep woods are full of shadows. You are surprised to find that one of the shadows is now attacking you. As the darkness lurches towards you, it turns solid. It is Seneca, who was concealed in the underbrush by Shadow Walker trickery. This time he doesn't parley. He is trying his best to stop you. If nothing else, Shadow Walkers are a reliable source of all sorts of tricks and surprises in battle. When he pulls a glass orb out of his pouch, you try to stop him before he can smash it. You don't succeed. The purple mist that pours out solidifies into bones, and the bones knit together into a cluster of defenders. Oh, that's BS. I didn't even have time to get that adjusted or anything. Or not really adjusted, but healed. Get these rebel hunters out of here, though. Kill him already, dang it. Dagnabbit. Dang, how strong are these freaking, like, enemies in the beginning here? Because I really do not have much I can work with. Seneca is increasingly bruised and exhausted. He pulls another ceramic vial out of his pouch just as he slips on a patch of moss. He smashes it against a rock as he hits the ground. This time, you know to protect your eyes from the caustic smoke. By the time you're free to look around, however, Seneca is gone. I mean, could I have gotten more supplies really quick at, like, Rockford's Key before doing this? Alright, we'll train this and this. We'll train that. Yeah, I'm not really worried about the wretches as much as this rebel with a bit of hit points here. Okay, we got them killed now. Okay, we're out of healing potions, but we do have plenty of alright, chainmail armor. Put that on Khalida. Chainmail boots. Let's put that on Khalida too. You enter a large, overgrown clearing. The crumbling ruins of a stone dome are in the middle. Nobody has tended to this grove in a very long time, and the locals have gradually been pilfering the stone to improve their own homes. In the middle of the crumbling dome, you can see a stone pylon, polished, carved with runes, and surprisingly resistant to both wear and the bird droppings that cover every almost exposed surface. Yannick smiles, almost there, and then Seneca steps out from behind the pylon. Wild-run rebels, expertly concealed, leave the brush. It is an ambush, but though hardly an unexpected one. Seneca's dark garb is torn and stained with his blood, but the Shadow Walker still has plenty of fight in him. He points his blade at you. Here is your goal, hands. Let us have a final test. How strong are Avadon's servants? Okay, I mainly want to get rid of the backup enemies really quick. I know Seneca is going to be pretty strong, so these other ones are just going to be a bit of a nuisance. Oh, I hate that more came in from behind like that, though. No, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to actually fight him. Oh my gosh, really? No, go back to Seneca. And make sure they're dead. Seneca reels back under the force of your attacks. He mutters, I had hoped to save this, but he is wearing a silver amulet around his neck. He touches it and mutters a word of command. It crumbles into dust. A moment later, a shade appears next to him. The air around it grows icy cold. Alright, I'm glad he's focused on Khalida right now, because neither Yannick or Malik have anything to heal themselves, really. Seneca has one final surprise in his arsenal of tricks. He surrenders. He drops to one knee, lowers his blade, and looks you in the eye. I yield. The field is yours. I will surrender my blade and treasure to you, if you will but let me flee. What trickery is this? Seneca bows his head. No trickery. I know when I am beaten. I ask only to be allowed to yield with honor. You can abandon your commission now? Yes, it is allowed to a free walker who is defeated and has no hope of success. The cost to my career will be considerable. However, my future clients will understand when I point out that I lost to Avadon. So it is my decision to make? Yes, my treasure for my life. Though, in general, etiquette demands that you do not chop us down a surrendered prisoner. Yannick nods agreement. My hands are stained with enough blood. I would rather spare one life if I can. Khalida replies, he raised a blade against hands of Avadon. He could have fled at any time. No, Avadon cannot spare such an offense, for all our sakes. They turn to you, hoping you will settle the impasse. He tried to kill us. He needs to pay. Both hands nod agreement. In an instant, Seneca leaps to his feet, blade in hand. Then I die. But bravely, with honor. He salutes you and charges. Oh, I'm so glad I have my turret here. I really hope this is going to help. Well, screw your healing, though. Let's just attack him with the bow for now. Seneca slumps to the ground, grievously wounded. He reaches into his pouch, grasping for a final trick that can save him. The bag is empty. Hope lost, he lies back and closes his eyes. And then he is gone. Khalida nods. We have done the right thing. We must show that the days of butchering hands are done. She helps you liberate the pouch of gold coins he received from the Titan. Then you are alone in the clearing, facing the pylon. At last, Yannick says, I am ready to activate it. It will call to Avadon, and when your message is heard, the way home will open. Select the portal pylon to use it. Alright, first let's get a healing real quick. Or not a healing, but make sure our group is fully healed before we do anything. We'll give this weapon to Khalida here. Alright, we'll walk around so they can automatically heal each other. Good lord, that was such a close call, though, with this part. Okay. And unfortunately, we won't be able to hop into Avadon right away. Unfortunately, we still have one more thing. But this is a good opportunity for me to save the game, so with that in mind, I will save the game right here, and I'll see you all soon with the next part.